Hello, this is Carl's Mustang. Today is going to be a bit of a tutorial and some tips for Need for Speed Heat for beginners. This is going to be mainly for beginners, so if you're not a beginner, you might not be interested in this video. But first thing is engine swaps. That took me the longest to figure out. What you do is you go to engine, you go to upgrades, and you go to engine, and of course, there's engine swaps. Now, different cars get different engines. And next, I'm going to show you a little bit of tips for the game. Okay, now this one's for live tune. Now what you do is you push... wrong one. You push right on the D-pad, and of course there's quick nav, which brings you to safe house, gas station, our current route. And then there's live tune, there's messages, but live tune is what I'm going to show you. As you can see, those are my tune. That's where you can turn off traction control or turn it back on. And then after that, there's drift style. Now, as you know, on Need for Speed Heat, they changed it where you could do double tap the gas to drift, or just tap the gas to drift. Well, what that does is that lets you switch it back to brake to drift. So you're into brake to drift. That's how you could do. That's how you could do it. And personally, I haven't tried brake to drift, so I'm getting ready to try it. Apparently, it does not work anymore because I just tapped the brake earlier and it didn't work. No, brake and drift don't work as much as it used to. Oh well. I personally prefer to throttle the drift anyway. And I thought that would be a pretty cool thing to show y'all just in case y'all are into brake and drift, because it still works somewhat, not as well as it used to. Now on to the next tip. Now here's the next tip. Like, say you're all the way across the map. Like, as you can see, I'm all the way over here. But you want to get over the way to this side of the map without having to drive the whole way. Like, I'll drive the whole way sometimes, depending on what mood I'm in. But say you don't want to drive that whole way. Well, what you could do is say, well, I'll set a waypoint normally, because normally sometimes the races are farther than that. But if the race is close enough, you could just do this. And now this one is a hard one. It was the photo mode. Now, I was playing Need for Speed 2015. I didn't have Payback, but I had 2015. I didn't bother to get Payback because, well, we kind of all know what Payback was like. But the photo thing changed from there. And how it changed is instead of pushing pause and then going to photo mode, or whatever Payback did, 2015 you pushed pause and then went to photo mode and there you went. But how this game works is it works differently. Now what you do is you hold down on the right analog stick, like you push down on it, and it sends you into photo mode. And that's how the photo mode works. And after that, you just tap it once for if you just want to do a quick screenshot. Of course, it has hide the UI, and of course, it has its effect. It has all its filters and effects and all kinds of other stuff. And I was pretty happy to figure out this one. It also has it where you can turn the driver on and off. Like, say you want your driver in the car. You can't see him, but he pops up in the car when you turn him on. And I thought it was pretty cool when I finally figured out how to do this one. Now time for the next part of the tips, because this next one's going to be a tip part. Because this one is a really good tip for if you don't want to drive through the night and worry about getting a heat that way you don't have to worry about the police chasing after you for no reason. Because the police here on Heat during night have a problem with chasing after you for no reason, even if you're going the speed limit. They just see you with a nice car and want to chase after you. So this one's a nice one to look at, especially if you're just starting the night on the game. Of course, then the rest of the night, if you have rep, you're going to have to drive around and all and hide away from the police. Here's a little bit, this is part of the tip. Now, as you can see, of course, it's daytime, and you can switch to nighttime. well, say you're too far away from a race. Like, say I want to go to this one. What you could do is, of course, you could set the waypoint to that location that you want to go to. Now, as you see, there's nothing here when you're at this location. I angle myself. Go to here. Push L3, which is the left analog stick. Push down the left analog stick. And there you are in night mode, and there's the race you want to go to. And this is good if you don't want to drive all the way through night, as I said in the first part of this first part. This is good if you don't want to drive through the night part. And the best thing is, as long as you have no rep, like for right now, like for some reason it says I have 1 rep right now, you go to pause, or to the map, and you could fast travel. Well, that one didn't say I could fast travel. Well, there it is. It says like a fast travel, which means that you could do the same technique I showed you earlier in the video, where you could travel to any race as long as it's close to a garage. And you won't have to travel as far through the night. So that should really help y'all out. And now on to the final part of the video. Here's the final part of the video. And this is where to find the time trial. Oops. I accidentally switched to night. It's right here in downtown. And why this is a tip is there's a flamingo that you have to get, which is one of the collectibles, and there's 2 billboards. Well, the only way to collect them... Now, you can jump on top of here if you're good enough, but the easiest way is to use this. Because as you see, it just transports you on top of there for the run you're getting ready to do. And of course, I'm not going to beat that Corvette that you just saw pop up with this. But I'm going to show you where the flamingo is at. Let this ghost get ahead of his car because it's noisy as hell. Now tell me there's no suspicious stuff going on there, how that thing glitched out. But there's one of the billboards. As you can see, it's right here, and you just blast straight off of this. And you don't have to worry if you fail this, because if you fail it, you can just retry it, of course, until you get all the collectibles. It ain't a one-time fail situation. And then there's another billboard when you drive along here. It's on top of a building. You have to drive on top of the building to get it. Ooh, almost fell off. That one right there. As you can see, that billboard, you have to drive on top of that building right there and then get to it, which is pretty easy. And then that billboard's easy to collect because if I remember right, there was a ramp to hit that one. But oh, I'm not good at driving on thin little things like this. And then after at the end here, there's usually a flamingo, which I already got it, and you can just crash through it, and then on your way to the finish line. And then if you want to, of course, you can try as many times as you want, as I said before. Here is the next tip/tutorial part, because this one's kind of in between. This is a part I figured out. And what you could do is you could look at your performance upgrades. And of course, you could buy whichever performance upgrades you need. Which of course are all the same, really, as if you don't buy multiple of them. But if you buy multiple of them, you could upgrade whichever one. Like for instance, this one, as you can see, I could change it to the radar disruptor or that. And that's where you could change your performance and all that. And of course, if you have different engine swaps available, you go to different engine swaps. And then of course, there's fast travel back to garage. Then there's, of course, social. That's like your club, challenges, snapshots and crew trials. Then there's progress. And basically everything's set up. Basically just everything's set the way it's supposed to be. That's all I really have for today's video. And also I'm going to be trying to upload earlier. Because I decided, the reason I hadn't uploaded a video recently or last weekend is because I decided to take a break for Christmas and New Year. Because how I uploaded all those Gran Turismo videos a couple weeks ago. And of course now it's 2020. And I'm going to change the schedule up a little bit. I'm going to try to upload videos earlier because I noticed I've been uploading them too late when most y'all ain't up. I mean, I usually upload them at around 3 AM or something like that. And most of y'all ain't up by that. So I'm going to try to upload earlier if I can. And of course there's plenty more videos to come in 2020. So I see you guys later in the next video and hope y'all have a good 2020.
Yeah.